heard of the verdict conferred, I put myself in the place of Marissa Alexander, trying to imagine what she thought as she sat through her trial of lies and slander. Lock me up in a cell, 20 years in hell for pulling the trigger as a warning at my husband abusing me early in the morning. Few days post-bearing my third baby premature, unripe lives I'll never taste. Hushed her cries, hiding cribside, misplaced. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. Mama's gonna sing you a lullaby. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. That's wasting breath on hopes that'll go unheard. Most people call me Marissa. Most of you would see me as a 31-year-old black woman, found in the middle class. During pregnancy, beat down, mastered making bruises discreet, now finally opposed, and for that, my freedom foreclosed. Because on May 8th, it took a jury 12 minutes to sentence me to 20 years. It took a jury of my white peers 12 minutes to sentence me to 20 years for firing a warning shot. My heart began to rot when I heard the news on July 13th. A 28-year-old grown man needed to defend himself from an unarmed teenage boy. So he wore his neighborhood watch badge like a crown and shot him down, but after 16 hours and 12 minutes, he was innocent. And I asked myself, should I have continued my relations with Mr. Crayola, whose crayon fist scribbled various hues of black and blues on my skin as it imbues? Because they treated the bruises that I wore as if they were a contagious disease. They said, beware of a black woman who defends herself, but don't worry. It will only take 20 years in prison to cure of it. Yeah, no guarantees. This nightmare is becoming a reality when every day I hear of the brutality and abnormality of our nation we call free. How can I sleep with the fear of every time my child puts a hoodie over his head, he's marking himself as a victim to our legal system? Because on July 13th, it was made known that wearing a hood means danger, that wearing a hood means you're up to no good. If you're black and wearing a hood, then you've invested in your own persecution. And yet we all pretend to forget the ones in white who fit those same attributions. When I took the stand, I refused to plead for guilt, to only be canned in prison for 3 years rather than 20. Because on that day I walked away from my husband, I found my dignity waiting for me at the door outside. It was homeless and broken, but time after time I ignored it, letting the pounding of a coward's fist reward it. But on that day I found my independence. Although I was locked up when I fired, I reclaimed emancipation from the shackles of abuse. There was no use lying, claiming that I was trying to murder. When you catch yourself coloring with the same lines of the same primary colors as slave owners once did, free your mind from prejudice and profiling. Let me be a reminder of all the defiling those thoughts can cause before it's too late. Now, I thank you for your prayers, but I decline them. I want you to redesign them as prayers for all people of all races, that one day we might listen and realize it's time to stand up when my baby cries at night. Hush, little baby, wait and see. All I want to do is make your chains break free. Hush, little baby, stand your ground. Call your mama when your freedom's found.